Picture the most powerful hunter in the sky, a golden eagle. Now picture it running away. Not from another eagle, not from a human with a rifle, from a bird one-tenth its size, a bird small enough to tuck under your arm. And this isn't some rare clip. It happens every single day, everywhere on Earth. Hawks, owls, eagles, coyotes, bobcats, even wolves, all of them caught on camera, all of them fleeing from crows, and never just one crow. A whole gang of them, screaming, diving, taking turns, until the predator finally quits and leaves. Stop and think about that for a second. These are animals built to kill. An eagle's grip can crush solid bone. A bobcat drops prey 4 times its weight. Wolves hunt in packs and take down elk. Yet, the moment crows swarm in, every one of them chooses to walk away. Back in 2019, a clip from Alaska blew up online. A bald eagle, one of the biggest raptors on the continent, pinned flat against a tree trunk, 4 crows taking turns bombing its head. And the eagle never fought back. It just hunched down and waited it out. And this isn't only birds against birds. In the Pacific Northwest, researchers watched something wild: crows chasing coyotes away from their nests, following them for hundreds of yards, screaming the entire time until the coyote gave up and never returned. But mountain lions, they get it even worse, and not a single dive bomb is involved. A mountain lion kills an elk. It drags the body into cover, buries it under leaves and brush, then beds down close by to guard it. The whole plan depends on one thing: nobody finding the kill. In Jackson Hole, Wyoming, scientists set up cameras, over 200 lion kill sites, and they found something the cats never saw coming. Ravens, magpies, and crows found the hidden meat almost instantly, and they didn't eat quietly. They called out, loud enough to summon the entire valley. Coyotes, foxes, bears, sometimes wolves, all pulled in by one bird advertising a free meal. Biologist Mark Elbroch led the study. Lion kills drew 3 times more scavengers than wolf kills. So the lion isn't losing a fight. It's losing dinner before it can finish. Forced to hunt again way too soon. Which brings up the obvious question: why doesn't the predator just kill the crow? A red-tailed hawk could end it in half a second. One clean strike, threat gone. So why do the strongest animals on Earth keep running? Some scientists think it's about numbers. Numbers most people never expect. When a crow calls out, it isn't warning itself. It's placing a call, and crows always answer that call. In minutes, one crow becomes a dozen, all swarming the same target. John Marsluff studies crows at the University of Washington. He's watched 2 or 3 birds turn into over 20 in under 10 minutes. So a predator's easy meal suddenly becomes a swarm before it can even react. But numbers aren't the whole story, because crows never forget. In one famous experiment, researchers wore a rubber caveman mask. Then they trapped and briefly handled wild crows. After that, they let the birds go and walked off. Years later, they wore the same mask again. Same campus, same path. And the crows attacked them on sight. Here's the crazy part. Some of the original crows had already died of old age, but their chicks, birds never touched, still knew the mask, and joined the attack anyway. That's not instinct. That's memory being handed down. Bird to bird, parent to child. A single threat remembered for over a decade. So a predator that messes with a crow isn't making one enemy. It's making an enemy that warns its kids, and crow brains back this up in ways that stunned the scientists. For their body size, a crow's forebrain is massive, the part built for reasoning and memory. It's proportionally close to a chimpanzee, not other birds, primates. New Caledonian crows even bend wire into hooks to pull grubs out of tight cracks, tool making that shocked researchers when they first saw it. These birds aren't running on instinct. They plan several moves ahead. So a predator isn't just facing a bird. It's facing an animal that remembers faces, holds a grudge, and passes it all down for years. On paper, that explains the eagle backing off. But then there's a case that breaks it wide open. Ravens are close cousins of crows, and they have a strange bond with wolves, one that's puzzled scientists for a century. Ravens follow wolf packs, and they've been seen guiding wolves toward hidden carcasses, prey the wolves hadn't even found yet. Old hunters in Alaska and Scandinavia knew this well. They called the raven the wolf's guide, because wherever ravens circled and called, wolves were never far behind. And this isn't just folklore. Researchers led by Bernd Heinrich documented it. Ravens actively recruiting wolves. To rip open carcasses, their beaks couldn't tear. So here's the contradiction. If crows can force a predator to retreat, why would ravens team up with wolves instead? Why terrorize one apex predator, but partner with another? If this were really about fear, the behavior would look the same every time. But it doesn't, and the answer isn't fear at all. It's closer to a cold calculation, and crows run it constantly. A wolf that opens a carcass is worth keeping around. A hawk near a nest full of chicks is worth driving off. The bird isn't scared. And it isn't loyal, it's simply tracking what pays off. And for the predator being mobbed, the math is just as cold. A hawk chasing screaming crows burns energy. It risks its eyes and its wings. And for what? A meal it probably won't catch anyway. Crows are fast, agile, and rarely alone. So retreating costs nothing. Fighting costs everything. Studies on ospreys prove this point, where ospreys hunt fish, not crows. The crows mostly ignore them, but crows that have never seen an osprey will mob it exactly like a hawk. They're not reacting to size, they're reacting to a threat they've learned to measure. So what looks like fear from the outside, an eagle backing off, a coyote walking away, a bobcat losing its own kill, might not be fear at all. It might be the coldest, most rational choice in nature, made in real time, by a bird most people call a nuisance. And that flips the whole picture upside down. We imagine the food chain as a ladder, teeth and claws at the top, everyone else below. But an eagle fleeing four birds it could kill instantly suggests the ladder was never about strength. It's about what an animal knows, who it can call for backup, and whether it remembers you tomorrow. A wolf can be shoved aside by a bigger wolf. A hawk can be replaced by a bigger hawk. But an animal that knows your face, warns its children about you, and can summon 20 allies in 10 minutes isn't something brute strength was ever built to beat. And maybe that's the real answer underneath all of this. Apex predators weren't pushed off the top by something stronger. They were outsmarted by something that turned memory and teamwork into a weapon. Evolution never gave them a way to fight back against it. So somewhere in a tree right now, a crow is watching a predator pass by, deciding in real time if it's worth a fight. And more often than scientists expected, the answer isn't fear and it isn't aggression. It's a quiet, calculated no. From a bird we never think twice about. And maybe that's the part worth sitting with. The rulers of the wild aren't ruling much, not when a few grams of feathers and memory decide they're done. Power was never really about size.